In today's video, I'm going to share what limiting beliefs are, where they come from, and I'm going to give you 2 ways in which you can overcome limiting beliefs in your life. Hi, my name is Edward James Carey, and welcome to Praxis Living, where I create content to help you create the life that you desire. In the last video that I made, I referred to what I believe is the one critical thing that I would share with you. In my 20 years of personal development study, I summarized everything down to one core idea that I believed would provide the most value for you to be able to take immediately and apply into creating the life that you want. If you haven't seen that video yet, just click this link here to go and watch that video. But in today's video, I'm going to go deeper than I did in that previous video. And we're going to get into a discussion now of what a limiting belief is, how we get them, where they come from. I'm even going to discuss what the value of them are, because they do have value. And then I'm going to provide 2 solutions on how you can overcome limiting beliefs in your life. I'm going to provide a slow way, and I'm going to provide a fast way. But first, I'd like to share a story. And it has to do with something that I learned about circus elephants and how they're trained. I don't know if you have ever been to a circus and seen elephants. Elephants tend to be very large creatures, very powerful creatures. And if you see them at a circus, often you'll find that these elephants have nothing more than a rope tied to their leg, which is connected to a wooden stake, which is pounded in the ground. Why would that elephant not rip the stake out of the ground and just run off on its way? It has to do with the way that they're trained. You see, when elephants are a baby, what the trainers do is they will put a metal shackle around the leg of an elephant with a metal chain, but they will attach that chain to an immovable object that baby elephant does not have the power to pull out of the ground. They'll attach it to a concrete block or a fixed position in the earth. The elephant will try and try and try to pull against that chain to set themselves free to go off and run into the wild. And the harder that the elephant tries, the more and more the elephant begins to feel that metal begin to dig into its skin. And it causes a great amount of discomfort. And the elephant begins to learn that pulling against this chain is a very painful thing. And so the elephant eventually learns to accept its fate. Fascinating story about how elephants are trained. It's also a sad story. Now, what does that have to do with limiting beliefs and the discussion that we're having here today? You and I, when we are born into this world, we have no comprehension to think for ourselves, to form our own opinions, to form our own beliefs. We don't get those skills until later on in life. And by the time that you and I are able to ask questions and to use our logic part of our brain and to question things, we are already similar to a trained elephant. We will question a lot of things, but we are very, very hesitant to question beliefs, because the pain involved with questioning beliefs is a very real pain and a very real disturbance in our emotional beings. Now, why do we have those limiting beliefs in the first place? My opinion on that is, when you and I were born into this world, the people outside of us, our parents, our extended family, our teachers in school, our friends, our peers, any outside influence that we encountered in life had one critical role to play in our personal development. And it was not how to teach us to thrive and have the life that we want. Trust me, when you and I were 2 years old, we knew exactly how to get what we want. The problem is that everybody outside of us very quickly intervened in order to prevent us from getting what we want, and for good reason. The main job was to protect us and to stop us from dying. So I want you to understand, some of the beliefs that you have and that I have that we carry around to this day in fully mature bodies may still be present, and their primary purpose is not to help us grow. is not to help us create an abundant life. It is to do the one job and continue to do the job that they were originally developed for, which is to protect us, to keep us safe, and to keep us from death. So, I want to be clear. Limiting beliefs are to be celebrated and validated. They are the reason that you and I are here today. They were designed to fulfill a purpose, which they have done marvelously well. You and I are still here, and life is good. At least I hope so. So now, I want to talk about how we can change limiting beliefs if and when we decide that some of the beliefs that we have today no longer serve the need that they were developed for. I'm going to go on the assumption that you watching this video, you are a mature adult, you have the ability to reason, you have the ability to think for yourself, you have the ability to engage in a discussion, and you have the ability to question whether a belief that you have is still serving a purpose that is empowering for your life. Do you have beliefs that are facilitating your growth and your expansion, or do you still have beliefs that are limiting you? That's not for me to decide. That is for you to decide. My role here today is to share with you 2 ways how to change that limiting belief. First, I'm going to share a very slow way. It is not an instant fix. I want to tell you that right now. It involves work, it involves dedication, and it involves practice. So here we go. Step number 1 of the slow way to overcome a limiting belief is this. First, you must define a clear intention. Now, you can start small. You can say, I want to get a job that pays $80,000 a year. Maybe that's not so small. I want a new pair of shoes that cost $250. That's small. I want a new car. I want a new home. You can play with this and you can make it whatever you want. And the idea here is to start small on purpose, because I want to give you a process to demonstrate how you create an overcoming belief to get rid of a limiting belief. So, clear intention. Pick something that you want as a goal in your life. Now, the second step in the slow way of how to overcome a limiting belief is, after you've created a clear intention, now it is time to get creative and come up with a positive affirmation. In fact, more than one. Try to come up with positive affirmations that are directly supportive of the new goal that you've intended. So, if you want a new pair of shoes that cost $250, start with writing down some affirmations that support your achievement of that goal, such as, I have all the power within me to acquire a new pair of shoes that cost $250. I'm so grateful that I have all of the financial resources that I require to purchase a new set of shoes. I'm so grateful that I get to choose to create my own life experiences. Those are 3 examples. Any of those affirmations are in direct support of a goal like that. Come up with your own words, and you need to come up with your own way of making a statement that you can believe that is in support and allows you to start feeling good about achieving your goal of getting a new pair of shoes. Step 3 in the slow way of overcoming a limiting belief is to begin to develop an emotional intensity. Once you have a goal, and once you've written out a few affirmations, then the idea is to say your affirmations and tap into a state of emotional intensity. And when I say emotional intensity, I'm talking about the good feelings of emotion that come with already having achieved your goal. I'm not talking about the emotional intensity of, I want to purchase a new pair of shoes. Oh, but I'm lying to myself. Get off that track. I have all the money that I require to purchase a new set of shoes. No, you don't. Get off that track. Go into places like this. I have all the money that I require to purchase all of the things that I desire. You see what just happened? You see the smile on my face? This is an indication of how you want to feel. When you start going through your affirmations and you begin to feel energized, empowered, elated, excited, joyful, grateful. These are the emotions that you want to tap into while you're saying your affirmations regarding your clear intention. I hope you're still with me. I know this is a lot of information. We're going to move on. Step 4 in the slow way to overcome a limiting belief is disciplined focus. You already know what you want at this point. You've already written out some affirmations that you can say over and over that directly support the accomplishment of your goal. And you already know that when you say those affirmations over and over, that you want to develop an emotional intensity of good feelings around your affirmations. But now you have to include disciplined focus. And what I mean by this is you don't just want to focus on this goal for 5 seconds. You can start there. That's perfectly healthy and okay. But you want to begin to train yourself to be able to live in this space. You want to be able to hold this space. All of these feelings of good emotions regarding your affirmations about the thing that you want to achieve as a goal, exercise disciplined focus and ramp up the amount of time that you are able to live and feel this state of emotional intensity. Go to 10 seconds, go to 15 seconds, go to 30 seconds per day, go to 60 seconds per day. Try to expand for 5 minutes on focusing on a clear intention with positive affirmations that you repeat to yourself over and over, and that you feel incredibly joyful emotions and good emotions while you're saying your affirmation, and build up your endurance to 5 minutes. See if you can get to 10 minutes. See if you can get to 15 minutes. See if you can get to 30 minutes a day. There's no rule on how long that you have to cultivate this state of gratitude. But the goal in life is to live in this state of gratitude at all times so that it becomes completely independent of your goals. That's where we're going for. That is step 4, disciplined focus. Now we're going to cover step 5 in the slow way to achieve goals, and that is this. Let all that shit go, man. Let it all go. Everything that I've shared with you to this point, clear intention, positive affirmations, emotional intensity of feeling good while you're saying those affirmations, and exercising disciplined focus in order to maintain that state, when you're done, let it go. You need to actively throw it away and forget about it. The rest is not up to you. The rest is up to God. If you don't believe in God, that's okay. It can be up to the universe. It can be up to energy. It can be up to consciousness. Whatever it is that you need to ascribe the not knowing part to, go with that for you. But this is a very critical part of the process. If you fail to let it go, what will happen is your emotional intensity that you're feeling through disciplined focus will start to shift and become detrimental to you achieving your goal. You'll start to become too aware of the fact that it seems that you're lying to yourself about having these things, when in fact you can clearly see that you don't. You may get into desperation. You may feel that you want it so badly that it goes too far in the emotional intensity space. You may get attached to the outcome. We don't want that. We don't want any of that. We want to feel good while we're making our intentions, and then when we've decided that we are comfortable and confident, we let it go, and then we pay attention to how that shows up in our life, the accomplishment of that goal. Now, there is a 5-step process that you can use in order to achieve overcoming a limiting belief, and you can test this for yourself. But I have good news for you. Maybe you're an advanced goal achiever, and you just want to know the fastest way to overcome a limiting belief that you feel that you've recognized that's holding you back in your life right now. You know very clearly what you want. You have a fire in order to achieve it, and yet you feel stuck, and you're not quite sure why you're stuck or how to get out of being stuck. In fact, I've made a video dedicated to the subject of becoming unstuck. If you want to see that video, just give this link a click here, and it will take you to that video on how to get unstuck. Maybe you just want to get unstuck and overcome your limiting beliefs as fast as possible. I got your back. Don't worry. I am now going to introduce you to the fast way of overcoming a limiting belief. And I want to clarify something. This technique is something that is fairly new to me. It is a technique that I've only learned about in the past 60 days, and I am brand new in using this technique. I can testify to the fact that I am getting excellent results with this technique. This technique is called identity shifting. So what it involves is this. Instead of defining a single goal in your life, you take time and you invest in sitting down and figuring out what you want your life to look like in every area, spiritually, emotionally, financially, socially, intellectually, and physically. You invest some time in creating an identity from scratch. If you were going to build a brand new house, you would start first to draw up what's called a blueprint. And this blueprint is an exact representation of how you want your finished house to look. My suggestion is if we can do that for a house, how much more important is it to do it for our lives? So, step one of this process, the fast way to overcome limiting beliefs, is investing time to create your own personal blueprint. Where did I learn how to do this identity shifting? I learned this from a successful YouTuber that I'm working with today named Quasi Joe here. And if you want to see the video, the exact video that I learned this technique from, you can click this card right here and it will take you to that video. Now, I did this for myself when I watched that Quasi Joe here video, and what I ended up with was this, my own personal identity blueprint. This blueprint details exactly what I want my life to look like. You see, when you decide that you want to play at this level of the game of creating the life that you want and overcoming limiting beliefs, and you want to put in the effort and energy, and you want to do some serious work, there's no reason to go through a 5-step process at all. You can do this all in one step. Read over your blueprint every single day. As you can see, mine is laminated. I went out to get it laminated so that I could keep it on my bedside table, and I read over it every single day before I begin my day. And I go over everything that is in my blueprint. And as I do that, I tap into that emotional intensity that I talked about of all of these things not coming to me, but rather all of these things being in my life right now. That's the key. I live this life right now. It's not something that I work for. It's not something that I strive to achieve. And when you start with an identity blueprint that comes from inside of you, that you created on your own, what you're going to find is that you begin to enjoy life regardless of your external circumstances, because you now know very clearly who you are. Remember, I talked about clear intention. This is a clear intention for how you want your entire life to look. It is powerful, my friends. Grab yourself a journal. As you become more and more familiar with your own identity blueprint, you use a journal to document dates and events in your external environment that you observe that confirm a part of your blueprint. Now, this is very, very important, and I explained in another video about why this is critically important. Human beings, we have something built into us called a reticular activating system. It is designed to focus and draw our attention on only the things that are of value to us. But that reticular activation system will focus our attention on things that we want, as well as things that we do not want. I want to be clear, it works both ways. Normally, with a limiting belief, we are in that reticular activating system showing us external environments, situations that reinforce our negative and limiting beliefs. We don't want to be in debt financially, and yet we keep getting bills in the mail telling us that we owe money. That's a perpetuating loop. It's a limiting belief that we have to be stuck in this cycle because we are taught that debt is just a natural part of life and we have to keep making bill payments. Well, I don't accept that. And neither should you, in my opinion. You can live a better life that is more freeing financially, my friends. I'm speaking from experience. I'm happy to say that I'm debt-free, and I have been for almost an entire year. I still pay bills, but I have no debt. 3 steps in this fast process. Invest your time in creating your identity blueprint. Do as good of a job as you can. Step 2, read your blueprint every day. Tap into the feelings of having all those things in your life right now. And step 3, document every shift in your external world that you begin to observe that supports what is on your identity blueprint. The more and the more that you do that, the more that you understand how powerful this technique in overcoming limiting beliefs are in your life. I kid you not, some of your limiting beliefs that you have right now that you think are holding you back, you can overcome at the snap of a finger once you understand that your power comes from within you. It doesn't come from outside of you. When you decide that you've had enough and you want a better life, nothing can stop you, my friends. Let me just drop this statement. I hope you can appreciate this statement. I mean it in love. You and I, we are going to live one of 2 outcomes in this life. We are going to continue to grow, expand, and achieve goals. We are going to become progressively better and better human beings until the day that we die. Or you and I are going to live a life of maintaining the status quo, slowly decaying, becoming more bitter, more resentful, more jaded about why we can't have the things that we want to have in our lives. And we are going to decay and rot until the day we die. Your life is going to have one of those 2 outcomes. I promise you. There is no middle ground. If you think that you can maintain a life of sitting still in comfort, you are deceived, because inflation makes that reality an impossibility. If you stay the same and life does not, you eventually fall behind. Now, I don't want to say that as a judgment. I really hope that you don't feel that I'm delivering it that way. I want to be mindful here of where you are. I do not know what your circumstances are. I'm only trying to encourage you that you have the power to change your circumstances in life any moment that you choose to do so. All right, my friends, that is it for today. I hope that I've shared information that you can take right now to immediately overcome limiting beliefs in your life. And I really hope that you begin to live a life that is more fulfilling, empowering, and satisfying. My name is Edward James Carey. Thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you find value in this information, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, even hit the notification bell to keep informed when I release new content to help you grow into the life that you want. And just so that you know, I mentioned some things in this video. I mentioned clear intention, emotional intensity, and disciplined focus. And I want you to know, I did a video focused on just those 3 aspects. And I shared a little bit of information on how I embody these 3 key principles in my life. It has to do with these fancy rings that you see on my finger. I hope that you can find some entertainment out of that video. I'm going to leave you with that title card right now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon.